Hey, John.
Hey, John.
Hey man, what's going on?
Not a whole lot. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Sorry, just getting back in the house.
It's all good?
What's happening?
Not too much. Again, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Of course.
Yeah. So I was telling Dan earlier that our podcast is about your journey in the music industry and how you guys got to where you are today.
Awesome.
Cool. Are you both in the UK currently?
Yeah, we just left each other about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we live really close to each other, yeah.
That's awesome. Are you both originally from where you're at now?
No, I'm from Australia, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Dan? Where are you from?
I'm from London. Yeah, I was
Okay.
born in London. Unfortunately,
Unfortunately.
it's a crazy place to live. It's so busy, and yeah, we live in the center of town, so there's a lot going on constantly. Even with the lockdown, so it was really strange when that happened, and there was nothing going on. So now
Yeah.
everything's kind of opening up. It's really
Starting to get a little bit normal now, though.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, John, tell me about growing up in Australia and how you got to UK and met Dan.
Oh, man. Yeah, so I started my first project in Australia. It was a group called Parachute Youth.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I started pursuing music with that. Moved to Melbourne. I was originally from Adelaide, South Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved to Melbourne, and from there we got a record deal in the UK. So we moved to the UK.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is big bit of a big jump. And then from there, like I think that group just decided to go our separate ways. So I was kind of in London, like, all right, let's keep doing music, but started doing my solo project. And then Dan and I think about 2 years down the track of just being in London, I think, Dan and I met at a studio called The Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, we just decided, let's keep doing this. Let's keep writing music. And then
it was our first.
The rest is history.
Yeah, we had one session, and we decided that we were gonna start Kaleidoscopes. We went to the pub, had about 5 beers, 2 shots, and then they kind of just kicked on from there, really.
Yeah.
Wow. How did you get into music, Dan?
I had a weird. For me, I don't really come from a musical family. No one in my family does music or music. So for me, it was weird. I grew up doing grime music, which is our equivalent to the US's rap, kind of like street rap kind of. It was actually, we would actually hijack the airwaves with pirate radio. We would
Oh, wow.
steal the frequency by putting an aerial on top of a huge project building and broadcast to the area from stealing the frequency. So that was yeah, we call it in the UK pirate radio.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's the similar system that truckers use. You know, truckers when they have the aerials on top of their
CB radio and shit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like CV. Okay.
the bigger version of that takes over a kind of airwave. And yeah, for me, that was my first, and it was really unprofessional. I know grime is a big thing now. I know grime is obviously by now, but when we was doing it, it was just so unprofessional. So that was my gateway. I didn't even know that I was in the music game when I started doing that. I didn't even know there was a music game, you know? So,
yeah. Well, so you guys would take over the radio signal, and then what would you guys do? Play records or just start?
We would freestyle.
Freestyling?
We would freestyle.
I tell the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'd have people, the DJs come in, and they'd have vinyls cut, and then they would be mixing the tracks like a full fluid set, and we'd have these things called reloads. And if you were rapping a really good lyric or a really good flow, the DJ would go pull it all the way back, and then you'd start again. And it was the culture. It was amazing. It was so fresh.
Wow. Did they ever did they find out that you guys were obviously stealing the signal and
Yeah.
come kick your door down?
Yeah, a load of times. So one of the places they used to stick them was, there was one under the Westway in Shepherd's Bush, but it was actually a trailer park where gypsies lived, and they had they had a load of like pit bull dogs there, and like police would never come in there. So that was one way to keep, and they would never really suspect it of being there. But there was huge project buildings where they used to stick the aerial on top of it. It was a magical time because a lot of the UK scene has been built out, you know, and it was the thing that they used to shun the most. When we used to tell people we did grime music, they'd be like, nah, sorry, you can't have a meeting with us, you know? So, good.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
John, so how did you get into music originally?
Oh man, my sister used to do like a lot of live stuff as well. So we have to go, like, it was like mandatory that we'd have to go watch her. So
Sure,
like,
go support your sister.
Yeah, go support your sister. I'm like, yeah, I've heard this a million times. Fantastic. No, but it was all right. It was good. I haven't had any lessons. I've like predominantly play piano and do vocals now, and obviously production, and we do writing. But piano was an interesting one. My sister's like, nah, you can't read theory or anything like that. So I used to actually I used to videotape. It was VCR days. I used to videotape commercials like my Colgate or Panadol, and I used to like learn. And I used to have them, and I used to have the little VCR and have the little mini keyboard that I had. I actually started on one of the little toy keyboards, you know, the ones babies use.
Oh yeah.
That's all I had at the time, and I just learned from there. And then I started, you know, even like looking away from the keyboard or putting a blindfold on or something, so I could just learn the piano from feel. I just thought that'd be an interesting way to do it.
Oh yeah, wow.
Like guitarists, you know how they feel with guitars. They're just fluently, they know exactly what they're doing without even looking. That's kind of how I learned the roughy style, learn the piano. And yeah, just I guess progressively, the more and more you play anything, you get better and better. So I started with the piano, and then I just have a crack at singing. Same thing, trial and error. Probably bursted some eardrums, but yeah, no, I think the way I learned like that is a bit more unorthodox, but it's got me to the type of style of a writer that I am today. So
yeah,
I just kept at it, I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then so you obviously started a band earlier on, and you guys got signed to a label, and then that took you to the UK. Tell me a little bit about that process.
Oh, so we the reason we got signed, we had this song called "I Can't Get Better Than This," and that went #1 in 9 countries.
Oh my
So it was
gosh!
First song I ever released, so we're #1.
How did that? Well, like you guys, would you put it on Spotify and then?
No, I actually gave the version. It was actually on CD. Hilarious. To the A&R, or the head of the label, who was DJing at a club in Australia. I gave him the CD, and everyone was drunk. So I'm like, he's never going to listen to that. And he hit us up. Yeah, and he hit us up. His name's Ajax. He's a dance legend back at home. And then became really good friends with him. And then he called us up, and he said, come over to Melbourne. And yeah, they released it, and it just started. This is when YouTube was like a big thing. And overnight, I think we got 1 million plays overnight.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The video clip was amazing, man. It was filmed in Burkina Faso, which is like a French province in Africa. And it was really well shot. Won a Cannes Film Festival as well. But that song kind of, I think that projected me into the real world of music, where things are getting a little bit more serious. And but it brought me to the UK, and I met my musical soulmate.
That's awesome. What about you, Dan? Were you in bands prior to meeting with John?
No, so through the grime music, it was we would call them crews, as like groups.
Oh, sure.
More of like a street thing where we were just like kids trying to be a part of something, and then that eventually grew into like a musical group with the same guys. But it was a really tricky situation. So a lot of those guys, they got arrested and they ended up in prison. I was just like, I want to do this professionally. So I kind of steered away from all of that life. And then when I was 18 and 19, the first track I did was with a big American rapper called Joel Santana, who was really big at the time in a group called Dipset. And there was a guy called Giggs, who was unknown, who's now massive in the UK, and another guy called Wiley, who was like the godfather of the grime music. So that was kind of my gateway in. And then to be honest, at first I really didn't want to do that type of music, but that's all people came to me for. They were like, oh, we need like a pop song that has grime on it, or, you know, it has like a raw street flavor. And yeah, then I kind of come out of that. Then I was in a production team called The Elite, and it was with a guy called Rhymes and a guy called Z Dot, and they're two huge UK producers. Right now they are. Back then we were just starting out. So everyone's kind of gone on and done good things to themselves, which is great. Because, you know, we all had the same drive, and we might have had our creative differences and not worked together, but eventually everyone got to where they wanted to be, you know. So it was nice.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So the grime music, were you guys performing like in London as well, or around the UK as well, or was it mainly just over?
It was
over there.
Yeah, that was. What was it? We would call them raves. You know, like old school raves where.
Oh, sure.
But it was just like the client in those kind of raves, like house music and acid music. Everyone's doing drugs. Everyone's like feeding off the music. This rave was everyone was smoking weed, and there wasn't any like party drugs involved. It was more everyone come there to chill and have a beer and feed off the hype and get built up over the hype. And yeah, which eventually led me to starting the band Slang, and it's the same. Slang was the same kind of thing, but like on a pop level, and yeah, kind of took all that raw grittiness and tried to put it in a pop and make it pop.
I think me and Danny started doing at the start. We got meeting halfway because I love hip hop as well, and my Yearwood project was a bit hip hop kind of / pop, I guess, as well. So we started doing that stuff, and I'm like, yo, let's try some dance. I know you don't do dance music. Let's try that.
Yeah, he hit me on it. I was like, I've never done a dance song before, but I guess like over the years we're at this point in our career where we're excelling because we've worked out all the little niggly things that really weren't working before for us, and I guess we've got a really good team now, and we keep good people around us, and we filter out the shit a lot easier. And that's from only doing those projects that John was saying, like Parachute Youth, when he had that success and it was great. Then it come down, and it's great to get through all those things and still do music. It's so hard, you know. It's hard.
It's like hitting the reset button of 5 years of your life. You're kind of like, just getting some momentum. It's a real challenging thing to face and then try and kick back from. So Dan was in a similar situation. So I was like,
yeah, and it affects you differently, you know. Some struggle with their mental health. We both struggle with our kind of mental health through music being so like
demanding and challenging. Yeah.
The way that you're rewarded in music is someone if it tells you good, if something's good, but like you lose your mind then because you don't know what's good, because what you think's good and you have an A&R or someone telling you this isn't right or blah, 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 blah. You just doubt everything. And I think that we got past that point now. We were like, actually, we know what we're doing is great, and we're going to stick to what we're doing. And I think, yeah, it's a good feeling, actually, to know that you're not, like, ruled by...
Long-ass hill.
Yeah, because you guys, like, both kind of you had success, and then when you start something new, it's like you kind of have to go build from the ground up again.
Where's this dude now? You're like, oh, awesome.
And everyone had...
Let's do that again.
Yeah.
Take two.
And like we took those opinions to heart, and now it's just like, all right, this is the music business. We are the creatives, and yeah, we're gonna stick to what we're doing because it's working.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. So did you guys the first song you guys put out was in 2015?
Yeah.
Back to You. Was that your guys' first song?
Back to You. Yeah.
That 2013 maybe. Or yeah. That was the first time we met, yeah.
I don't even know.
So you met, and Back to You was the first song you wrote together?
It was, yeah.
The first dance song, I think, yeah, we'd mucked around with some other stuff that wasn't really finished. We're like, but the first dance song that I think that's when we went for a pint and said, we should call this something.
Yeah.
And we literally came up with Kaleidoscopes at the pub.
Wow.
It was good. That Back to You track was great for us because we both love soul music, and we both love like I love dance music that my mum used to listen to, like garage music.
Yeah, both our mums. Yeah, mum was 90s dance, like LaBouche, Hadaway, all that stuff.
Okay,
that was literally forced upon me at breakfast time. There was a disco ball above my kitchen table.
Yeah, instead of a light disco ball.
Literally, she's dressing me up in flares to go to school.
That's awesome. Well, that song did massive for you guys. Back to you. I mean, I'm looking at it now on Spotify. It's like over 3 million plays.
Yeah, but we released
Yeah.
it when Spotify really wasn't a thing, and it was like a lot of the stuff, like Johnny's Parachute You stuff. I think if he released that in this day and age, and it was current with what's going on, like the numbers would be totally different because everything's kind of determined by like how they now interlink between Spotify, Apple, Shazam.
Yeah, like I said, we based it off YouTube. If you were banging on YouTube with music, you were you were sick.
Yeah, no.
Check out the comments, man. Dope.
We signed that to a guy called Jeff Antabi, who at the time he was managing Danger Mouse and Gnarls Barkley, and he had like a setup in LA.
Oh wow.
He was kind of hooked into people, and it was hard because that was the first time he was working with an American label, and it's just so different to the UK and Australian label like the way they're set up. And he was an indie guy, and he just knew people, so he'd send it to them and get it on playlists and put it in front of people. And then we signed that song to Universal Music, and then that kind of fell flat, didn't it, John? That was a weird situation.
Oh yeah, that was like that's I think that's where Kaleidoscopes did plateau a little bit, and I think that it was a bit discouraging because we had all this planning behind it and nothing really came to fruition from it. But I think I went back to Australia, and we had the songs there, but you were doing your thing, I was doing my thing. I think that's around the time.
Yeah.
Until we did the Dubai thing. Yeah,
because working remotely we're vibe guys, you know. We like to sit in a room and just like feel it, and the song's written in 10 minutes always, you know, and then you then like hash out the rest of it, you know. So it was hard, and then I went to Australia, John come to London, I went back to Australia, John come back to London, so we knew there was a lot of like value in what we was doing. It was just like trying to get us in one place at the same time. And then I think where now John lives in London and I live in London, we've really started to reap the rewards of that.
Just recently, you guys have.
Yeah. So, last year, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think so. Most recently I was back in Australia for about 5 months, I think, and we were on and off in conversations with our current label, which is APG Atlantic. And we were just waiting for the right time to come over, and that as well. The deal was getting sorted out. And I think, how long have we been back here now, Danny? I think I flew over to LA, signed the deal. We met everybody, did like 10 days in the studio, which was amazing. We and all of that, like Danny and I hadn't seen each other for 6 months. The true testament to our formula working is that we got straight back in, shook hands, and got straight back to work, and just flat. It was like I'd seen it. Time didn't really put a wedge in between our creativity. So we got back in, did the sessions, and then Danny's like, bro, you got to see LA, man. You got another 10 days here. I'm gonna sell it to you. And then our manager hit us up, those boys are going home tomorrow. We got locked down.
Oh my god!
So I copped it pretty bad.
And it rained. Wow. Oh, it rained every day. I've been before when it's rained, but I've never had 10 days of rain. That was like, it was a sign to leave America.
So far from me, LA sucks, man. I'm sure it's gonna be better next time.
Wow, so you come to LA for the first time and it rains straight for 10 days, and then you have to leave.
It rained. There was no people in the streets. It was like stray dogs and tumbleweeds, dude.
Oh my god,
that's crazy. Great.
Yeah, like I said, I live in San Diego, just south of LA, and it's like I can't even think of a time that it rained 10 days straight, but I do remember that now.
Dude,
it was like we're finally getting rain. Like, oh wow.
Yeah, it was pouring. Like, wow, it sucks. That's all right.
Gosh,
we got a lot of music done, and LA's not going anywhere.
Yeah, totally. That's for sure. Okay, so you guys got signed to APG, which is a part of Atlantic. How did that happen? Tell me that story.
Where was we? We was in Australia, weren't we, John? We was in your mum's house. We were staying with.
We did the summer times over in Oz because we skipped the winter in London.
No, smart.
Yeah. We dodged it. So we were staying at my mum's, and we were writing music and that. And I think, we got the email.
We got. Actually, we was like, there was a murmur from our label guy, Kieran Donahue, who's a great amazing indie label in the UK who we were still working with, but he licenses the records to APG, and he got kind of messaged us and was like, I just had a message from Mike Carrin that he really loves your record Foundations, and he asked if you have anything else, and we're like, yeah, we have the record Torn. Sent him Torn. They love Torn. They're like, we need to get on the phone.
Loved all the rest of it, yeah. The
Yeah.
demos, I loved them.
Kind of rolled out really quickly, and then everything happens like that in the music game. It goes really quickly for like a month, and then you're like, shit, this is happening, and then nothing happens like 3 months because sort of lawyers and legal teams, and it's just like, oh, like by the time we signed the deal, we're like, you know, it was just so much.
Yeah. And then this lovely thing called COVID came around as well, just to kick us out of the ass.
Strange.
So you guys had like literally just signed the deal right when this kind
Dude,
of
I wanted at least one beer or something. I got that was it. Off you go back to London, and then and it's London straight. I did 17 weeks straight just in my flat in London, just lockdown.
Yeah.
But it was character building.
Character building, I like it. And have you guys played have you played out yet, like shows and stuff?
No.
Just a live stream we've done for Chill Nation. That was fun. That was it. Yeah, I don't know if anywhere's doing shows at the moment.
Well, I meant prior to lockdown, like before you guys signed to Atlantic and everything.
Yeah, Australia. We did our first show in Australia at my hometown club. It was like the first place I ever played with my other project. Danny and I played there for our first show.
Oh, cool. How was that?
It's cool, man. It's cool.
Surprisingly, really well. Considering all the music was new, we managed to get a load of young people dancing to the music, which is always a good sign because
they don't know any lyrics. They're like, oh, well, no. I don't know what you're saying, but I'm dancing.
Yeah. It was fun actually. It was because we both performed with our previous projects and done big stages and all that kind of stuff. And this was a totally different beast for me because I've never done dance music live. John's done this before, but it was.
The energy's different, isn't it?
Because I was a front man in a band, so it's like it's so different.
It's cool. Danny incorporated that kind of that grime frontman, like almost like you see at a hip hop show in dance music. So he's getting these kids ready and revved, like they're listening to like Dre,
like hype man style.
Yeah, hype man, like, dance music, and it works, bro. It's so good.
That's awesome.
Good, it's good.
And you guys have a new song out, Torn. Tell me about the new song.
We finished that in Australia, right?
Yeah.
Finished
that in Australia, and we've had that for a while, that one as well. And it was supposed to come out a lot sooner, but yeah, Danny, he was obviously
because
COVID, I think, delayed everyone's releases.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a bit of that, and it was also there was a few changes that the label wanted to do to the song, which we didn't agree with, but eventually agreed with. Give and take, you know, keep the relationship smooth. And
it's good.
And then we came to a compromise, and it worked out, and we got it sounding how we wanted to sound, and then kind of scheduled that in. And because we had a load of stuff going on, you know, we did a remix for Ava Max that's out on Friday.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's gonna do well. And then we did the remix of the Head and Heart track for Joel Corey, the one that we wrote, co-wrote and co-produced. That's doing really well at the minute. So we have we had to be a little bit more strategic. We wanted to throw loads of stuff out because we have honestly so much material that we believe in and the label believe in, and it's really rare because I've been in situations before where they're like, yeah, we got 1 or 2 songs that work, and it's just like we're really gung-ho with the music. So
We've got, a lot of material. Like I said, Danny and I, we live really close in central London. So we're like maybe 15-minute walk. So a lot of these songs. Wow. Yeah, so we got, I think a lot of people did in lockdown as well, man. Like we've got so much material backed up because there was nothing else to do. Bit of PlayStation, but PlayStation, Netflix doesn't last forever. So we just like, we might as well work.
Sure.
And so, I don't know how, maybe we've got like 11, 12 demos for like good solid songs done. That was, so lockdown wasn't all that bad.
Yeah. Are you guys thinking about putting out an EP or a full album? What?
Still sussing it, I think. Yeah.
We still have to talk about the EP. It's more about like marrying the songs together, because not one of us. It's weird. Like we don't really make songs that sound like the one previous to it or the one beside it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's harder to kind of marry them together in an EP. And some of the tracks have got features on them, you know, where Johnny sings "Torn," you know, and he sings one of the new tracks, "Circles," that's going to be coming out, and you know, we just want to try and push Kaleidoscope.
You want to feel the vibe as well, the global vibe. There's a lot happening at the moment, so you want to make sure that you know, like we're big advocates for suiting the mood, the global mood, like and just not just I guess even with our last, even with Head and Heart, it showed that song that we co-wrote. It's the right time, the right moment, and it can kind of direct its success, I guess.
Mm-hmm. How was it? How did you make the connection with the Head and the Heart guys?
Well, the song was written. The song was written. The verse and the chorus
Mostly written, yeah.
That was written. Johnny written the hook line on the tour. he was taking a poop, and he come up with he has a good reverb in his toilet. So he was,
dude, that's a real story, man. I don't know what it is. Showers and toilets for me is the most creative spots. I stand by it as well. It's weird as shit, but
yeah, and
yeah.
Showed me, and I was like, we were going to Leeds the next day, and I had a friend up there that we were staying with and working with, and I was like, I was like, save this idea, put a pin in it. We're going to Leeds tomorrow. We can really like make this sound great with Rob Harvey. So that's what we did. We went there, and the bum bum bums were just bum bum bums. So we're like, how do we make that make sense? And then we come up with like my head and my heart, like, but my heart goes bum bum bum, and that was like marrying the sick hook idea into the words with the great production. It was the way it worked was mad, because we played it like 10 times, and we was driving around in the car after spending 3 hours on it, being like, this is great.
We were those hoons doing laps around the area, just literally listening to this song. We couldn't stop listening to it. It was just so good.
And yeah, to answer your question, that's how the link to Joel came, because Rob had written his last biggest record, and he was in talks with Joel about doing something else, and so then I guess we went to America, we signed the deal, and then we didn't really know what was going on with the song, because we didn't know what was going on in the background with their kind of team. So they did that, and then the pre-chorus was written by MNEK and Leo Kalin, his flatmate.
Smash that. It was good. Yeah, it felt like it was definitely, this is a pop record now. This is suited to Joel Corry. This is it just felt like it would work after everything was gelling together. But
there
were stages of the song, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
Which was mad as well, because I guess like once you got the hook, then it's just marrying in all the glue around it. And so then Joel and his guys took the song away, and they worked on it with Lewis and Neve, and they kind of
additional production and stuff.
Did some additional production. They didn't change the structure. Because they added the pre-chorus, which was done by MNEK. So it was at first it was quite a stressful process, because there was a lot going on, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you want it finished, you're like, come on.
And when you got something that people want, there's always like these people that come out of the woodwork, always trying to, like, you know.
Mm-hmm. And you say, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and it was interesting, because, you know, this song was written last year. You know, this song was written in September last year, and then had a few more touches from other people, and now everyone believes our ideas. You know,
And you guys did a remix, you said, for Ava Max that's coming out?
That's coming Friday. So that comes out on, what is the date on Friday? It is
21st, I think.
20. Yeah. So that comes out, and that's a remix of a song, Who's Laughing Now,
mm-hmm.
Which is quite a slow record, but Yeah, Johnny, we were supposed to start it. I was on my way to round Johnny's, and he's like, calls me, and I'm like, what are you going to play me? And he's like, bro, listen to this. And he just smashed out the verse and chorus. It just sounded so sick. I was like, do not move. I'm coming right now.
Do not move.
Don't move. I didn't move. I just sat there.
Yeah.
Well, did she ask you guys to remix that? How did that relationship start?
She's APG, I believe, as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So our name came across the table, I guess, or I think our A&R sorted that out. But we were like, let's hope we get approval, and we got approval from her, so which is good.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I think everyone's gonna love that remix. I really like it.
It's always cool when a remix kind of sounds like a new song, but it's got the same element. Yeah, it's got. I think we kind of just transformed that into a dance, a banger.
Yeah,
a banger.
Hopefully.
That's amazing. And you were talking about doing you did a live stream. Was that the room service music festival?
Yeah.
Tell me about that. How was that experience?
That was funny, man. It was just like let's. I know we're with all these other artists. Let's give them a little taste of what we're going to be like actually live. So we had a cheeky little gin beforehand just to loosen up. And we just we were in
a pub when we had like put the keyboards on top of the bar and had all like the taps around us and speakers on the side of the bar and like
so
it was picturesque, let's say. it was fun.
And we just played to an open room.
Yeah,
had the speakers blaring, man. We were we were going off. I forgot the camera was there. Me and Danny were just playing. They're just like, yes.
We played to the camera, and to be honest, it was nice to see all the comments on the YouTube and stuff. It was a weird experience. I'd never done a live stream before, so that
was a great part as well. Look, watching the comments, I was like going back and reading them. It was just like, that's great. Like we're not exactly. There's a lot of well-known people on there, but we will code some, favorites by a lot of people as well, which was great. I was like, it was good that they appreciated the energy we put into it. Like, because we were, I don't know if you've seen it, but we were going pretty hard.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think our legs hurt pretty bad after that, didn't we? Crazy.
Do you have any more planned, or as far as live streams go?
Yeah, we got one coming out. No, it's not a live stream. We got a mix on Big Beat Radio. In 3 hours.
To ask, John. I think we do have another one though as well. We're gonna do something that's a bit different.
In collaboration with a few brands and a few other people. It's more about trying to choose the right ones, and then we're working on our live set. So it's about, we want to give it the maximum and not just turn up with a CD decks and play songs back to back. We really want to perform these songs and give people their money's worth, So
just constant 45 minutes of hype and then we're off. We want them to be like, yo, what the hell was that? That was dope. That's the aim.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for chatting with me today. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I have one more question. I want to see if I can get an answer from you both. If you have any advice for aspiring artists.
John, do you want to go first?
Sure. I'd have to say, no matter, I know anyone hears this all the time, no matter what adversities or, hurdles that you come across, if your passion can outweigh all of that, and you're just your general love for music and not worrying about where you're going to be in 5 years or 4 years, it's for anyone, it's only a matter of time. If you just keep going, if you just keep at it, I guess, and focus on yourself and always, mastering your own craft, that's when it becomes really enjoyable and you'll forget about everything else but the music. So, and it sounds really cliche, but I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah, I agree. I think my advice would be you're just one song away from being a superstar, or one song away from being a successful writer, or one song away from being, what we say, accepted in the industry where people believe in you. There's a lot of people that have a flash in the pan kind of success and they write one thing and then they can't really follow it up. It's just like, we've done the 10,000 hours and we're lucky enough that we've signed record deals and had a bit of support through that. But it's not an easy game for sure. But like Johnny said, if you master your craft and kind of get rid of the dead weight in your situation or whatever's kind of holding you down, just work as hard as humanly possible. If you're working a day job and the only time you have to write music is in your downtime, get rid of your PlayStation, go on YouTube, learn how to play the piano. We have the internet now, we have the internet. When we was growing up doing music, there weren't no internet. Like Johnny said, it was CDs, floppy disks, mini disks, forget a USB drive, so
I could never make a perfect mashed potato until I started watching YouTube tutorials. That's how life-changing it is, bro.
But yeah, as mad as that sounds, we're all just one song away from being that guy. And the bottom line is we're all trying to write the same song, just a different version of it, So that's it. Bringing it back.